Growing up, VCRs, VHSs, those are like a thing of my childhood. But now as an adult working with them, I'm like, oh, like this is something I never expected.
It was an opportunity to try something relatively new and something I had never really heard was a thing before.
I am sitting at a desk most of the day, but I'm doing more active things and I'm problem solving a little bit more than I would at like a normal job where I, file paperwork and do things like that.
I don't like when problems occur, but I like problem solving and troubleshooting. So that is a really fun part of my job.
I really love having our final organized archive. I love knowing that it is a very clear format for people to look at. I love that I can organize all these family memories and they can easily go through them without having all these issues.
So I got all these photos, and they were all water damaged and just like completely destroyed. And I was just like, oh, this is really unfortunate. And I saw that the address said Texas, and it just automatically made me think of that really bad hurricane that they had in Texas recently. And then it kind of like gave me a little like boost in like what I was doing, because in a way all these other projects with their photos that haven't been damaged yet, I'm helping prevent something, like completely losing those photos like what had happened in Texas.
My undergraduate degree is film studies, so I did have experience, but what I learned here was working more with like a digital workflow and being exposed to like digital processing and editing.
Professionally, it was working in factories and working in kitchens, so this is something completely new for me.
What I liked about the training process is how incremental I think it was. Like, start you off with the basic things you need to know, and then as you go, you'll come across new things.
My supervisor trained me one-on-one for 2 weeks, and then from there on out, I was pretty much just worked on my own, just worked solidarily, but I could go to her with all my questions, which I did.
Working with the computers and some of the programs, sometimes they can be a little tricky. But you can always go to like a manager or a fellow coworker, and they can help you solve those problems.
You have that support network surrounding you, which is rare in the positions that I've been in prior to working at EverPresent.
Because our floor is such an open space, I can see video, I can see our digital organizing team, so it's more of a community that we have between the different departments.
You don't oftentimes find this camaraderie that you do in your everyday office job.
People make friends, which is nice. I know a lot of people are like hang out outside of work.
There's a pretty good mix of being on your own and having to interact with other people.
When we scan like super large things that two people need to hold down one end of a map or something. So that's kind of fun working with someone, the big scanners.
I don't really talk to the customers, which is kind of nice. There's a little buffer of the consultants who talk to the clients and get their feedback. Scheduling worked out really well for me. In the beginning, I had a second job, so I was able to take a day to do that second job.
It's really flexible, which is something that's very rare, I would have to say, with a lot of the different jobs that I've worked, where if you have some kind of like event that you need to go to that's in the last hour, you can just kind of like pick up that hour on an extra day.
It's a nice way to come into work knowing that they support other things that I do.
I just love my team. I have nothing but admiration and respect for every one of them. And I think it's just a great place to work. It's a great environment, and there's just a lot of great people, and we all respect each other, and I think we all push each other to be the best versions of ourselves. And that's just a really nice place to be a part of.